Sleeping Beauty. Chapter 1. The Curse. There once lived a brave king and his fair queen. For years, they wanted to have children. Finally, the queen had a baby girl. Her birth was celebrated throughout the kingdom. There were 7 magical fairies in the land. The king and queen asked them to be the baby's godmothers. The fairies' gifts would make any baby perfect. They would provide the baby with grace and goodness. The king gave a party for the fairies. There was a table with 7 places. The fairies all sat down to eat. Then an old fairy walked into the room. No one had invited her because they thought she had died. She had lived alone in a tower for 50 years. The old fairy said angrily, "Insult me, will they? I'll teach them something." A younger fairy heard her. She wanted to prevent it when the old fairy did anything awful. The youngest fairy gave the baby beauty. The next gave her wit. The third gave her grace. The fourth made her an excellent dancer. The fifth made her a wonderful singer. The sixth gave her musical talent. It was now the old fairy's turn. Angrily she said, "The princess will cut her finger on a spindle and die." Everyone was shocked. The younger fairy stepped up to the baby. She said, "Do not fear, your majesties. I can't undo this wicked curse, but I can change it. When the princess cuts her finger, she will not die. She'll sleep for 100 years. She will be awakened by a handsome prince." The king wanted to protect his daughter. He made a law. There should be no spindles in the kingdom. "15 years later, the princess grew into a beautiful young lady. One day, she decided to explore the castle. She found a tiny room high up in the castle. In the room, she saw an old woman. In her hand, she held a spindle. The princess had never seen it before. "Please, what is that?" asked the princess. "This is a spindle, my dear," said the old woman. "How beautiful! May I see it?" asked the princess. As the princess reached out, she cut her finger on the spindle. She fell on the floor. She came to sleep. The king ran to the young princess. He now knew that the curse had come true. The king placed Sleeping Beauty in a beautiful room. The magic sleep increased her beauty. Her cheeks and lips became rosy. There was a soft sound of her breathing. The good fairy who saved the princess's life came to the palace and said, "The princess might be sad if she wakes in an empty castle. I'll give her company and servants." The fairy then put many servants to sleep. Even the princess's little dog was put to sleep beside Sleeping Beauty. The king and queen went off to live in another place. The fairy made a forest of trees grow around the castle. The trees were very thick. Sleeping Beauty was safe from the outside world.